unfortunate incident in Jigawa State leads the front pages of most of the dailies this morning. The Nigerian Tribune, Jigawa petrol tanker explosion, 100 dead, more than 50 in hospital. Tinubu says negligent individuals will be held accountable. Akome leads FG delegation to Majia town. Stories on page 16. Daily Trust has Jigawa tanker inferno. Grieving families recount incident as over 120 buried. I lost 4 children. 5 Almajire policemen among victims. Enemy urges members to offer help. Tinubu, governors, speaker, others mourn. The pictures, the details right there on the front page of the paper. More details on the inside pages. Nigerian News Direct has the same story. Jigawa tanker explosion, 140 victims laid to rest, 90 in hospital. FG orders investigation, demands review of fuel transportation safety protocols. This story has details on page 22. Daily Independent, Jigawa tanker accident, FG to review fuel transportation safety protocols across states. 140 killed in Jigawa tanker explosion, get mass burial. Tinubu dispatches delegation, directs emergency aid. NMDPRA probes incidents. Shetima Abbas Lopobiri, First Lady, mourn. Details on page 29. At the bottom of the front page of Blueprint newspaper is Jigawa tanker tragedy. 105 bodies given mass burial, over 70 hospitalized. They were caught up scooping fuel, as according to police and eyewitness. Akome leads FG delegation. Tinubu, Nas, NGF, Buhari, others mourn. The details on page 6 of the paper this morning. And the picture on the front page is of officials during a visit to some of the tanker explosion victims in the hospital. Details again continue on the inside pages. This Nigeria, Jigawa's day of sorrow. Our 100 persons were burned to death in Majia petrol tanker inferno. Mass burial as 90 others in critical condition. SGF Akume leads delegation on condolence visit. FG to review transportation safety protocol. Details on the inside pages of the paper. A related story is what you have on the front page of New Telegraph. Hardship. Reverse fuel, cooking gas, price hike now. Reps tell FG. Suggest temporary price relief measures. We're aware there's food crisis. FG working to end it soon, according to Minister. Labour, FG keep mum over crucial meeting on fuel price hike. Others. Details continue on the inside pages of the paper this morning. If you look at the front page of the Guardian newspaper, opposition in disarray as internal crisis batter PDP, LP, NNPP. Story is on page 6. And the details on the inside pages of the paper. Business Day newspaper has Nigerians tap OPay, PoundPay, MoneyPoint amid banks IT glitch. The details on the front page, and it continues on the inside pages of the paper this morning. These are some of the papers we have for you today.
Well, I'm taking a look at the front pages this morning, and it's really hard for me not to notice what's on the front page of New Telegraph once again. I mean, it has to do with cooking gas. It is. Take a look at this. Hardship, reverse fuel, cooking gas price hike now. Reps tell federal government. They have a number of writers that story. Suggest temporary price relief measures. We're aware there's food crisis. Federal government working to end it soon. Minister. Labour, federal government keep mum over crucial meeting on fuel price hike. Others. And yes, we do know that there was a meeting between Labour yesterday and some ministers of government, amongst them the Minister of Information, the Minister of Finance, and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, and I think the Minister of Trade and Investment was also there. But as it has been reported, it's unclear, just what that meeting was about. But the Minister of Information says it's a proactive meeting, to make sure that we have a smooth working relationship between themselves and Labour. Because really, when you take a look at what is happening, almost every month, Chamberlain, I go to fill my cylinder, it's a different price every month. The only thing I can thank God for is that the company I go to buy from, they have a loyalty reward system. So if you keep buying from them, you accrue points over time. And guess what? Last time I got as much as 5,000 net discount. So it does make sense for companies that reward loyalty to roll out those programs. You know, you never can tell what relief it will be. I mean, then gas was 15,000 naira and I was able to pay 10,000 naira for it. Now we're hearing that it's gone up to 18,000 naira. I was asking my husband, I said, shouldn't I have just waited before I cashed in on my loyalty points? But hey, this is becoming something else. If every single month you go back, you cannot even budget to say, okay, this is how much I bought gas last month. It shouldn't be too bad. Maybe it will still be about the same price this month. And if your salary is a constant, for those who are lucky to still have jobs and their salaries are still getting paid every month, because we understand that now quite a number of organizations, including federal government agencies, are owing their staff salaries. In this season, in this time, there is a conversation really to be had.
So many things in that, because I mean, the Minister of Power the other day was saying that gas happens to be our own local, I can't remember the word, exact words he used, but he used it in the same context as to when some developed countries, including the States, are still using coal, as dirty as I said the fuel is, as still one of their mainstay for power generation. So he says ours should be gas. So if we have it all here, and many have said we can always ensure that at least the price of gas reflects our local purchasing power, because it's not the same thing as crude, as they tell us. So if that were the case, that's what we keep asking. When governments come up with those policies, do they have the platform, the templates to ensure that if we come up with this policy, it affects the bottom line, the man at the end, lowest end of the ladder? So if the price of gas is always going up almost every now and then, so how then do we juxtapose the policy? And also, the news was awash with the narrative that the NNPC Limited and Ipman have agreed on, quote, some sort of price agreement. So this morning, on the front page of The Guardian, where it says, revert to old petrol price, reps tell presidency. So raising the hopes of the people, I don't know how that works, because several people have made this kind of call and it never comes to fruition. They expect the reps members to know better than several other people, because they have loads of information as to maybe why this may not even happen in the nearest future. But if they insist they want to, we'll see. But the NNPC says there is no such price agreement between Ipman and themselves or any marketer. The market forces determine prices under the current deregulated regime that's ascribed to the Chief Corporate Communications Officer. So where do you go from there, Ayo?
I'm going to stay in the kitchen with Malkwe this morning, and it has to do with food. Yes, not just cooking gas, Malkwe, but the food that the cooking gas is going to cook. The front page of this Nigerian newspaper gives us an inkling, and it's a little disturbing. It's right beside the nameplate. It says, farmers warn food prices may go higher in 2025. And now, what is the issue they have? You may want to dig in to find out what that story is about. And it's not something that is strange to us or coming to us, for the first time. As Malkwe said earlier, you go to the market today, the next time you go to the market, the prices are different and a little more unpleasant than the previous time. And it's a narrative that a number of people would relate with and resonate with easily. So what are we going to do or doing right now to stave off this? Again, it speaks to our need to ramp up production, food production in country. Food crops, cash crops, we need to ramp up as quickly as possible. Every initiative, Chamberlain, you remember you were pointing out those agricultural initiatives during the Jonathan administration that really didn't, catch on as quickly as it should have, and was probably not even sustained by the successive, governments. So these issues are not going to go away without being addressed. Who needs to do something about it? I guess time is going to tell, but we all know the governors have a huge role to play in this matter, because we can't expect just the federal government alone to do everything. Even the state governments They may have to depend on local government, but at the end of the day, everyone is looking to the states to take the lead at their states' levels. Well, those are some of the issues on the front pages this morning, but Chamberlain already gave you an idea of what we're discussing when we return from this break. Stay with us.